whatever, buddy, whatever. Man, I'd be getting online and they be talking that trash to me, and I'd be like, whatever, buddy. I don't even want to hear it, buddy, whatever. I'm in the Matrix. Talking that trash to me online before I get on. But um, they won't get me sidetracked, y'all. It's September the 16th, 2020, 2024. And if you are watching this, I'll have you know, because your boy died, all right? I'm dead right now. But even worse than that, I have to let you know, if you're watching this right now, not only am I dead, but you're dead as well, and you're dead watching me, all right? I didn't want to have to break it to you like this, but we're both dead, all right? We're both in heaven right now. I'm just kidding. This is actually a live stream, all right? And I'm still alive. But also, I've been thinking ever since our man Maitre Mark was talking about it the other day in reference to Paul Harrell, who did actually die, but made a video in which he was actually having to be dead. I do want to do that. I might do that tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then very soon, to kind of put it out there, the type of things that you don't really necessarily talk about because you're going to pretty much just assume you're going to keep living, right? It might be even awkward to say these sort of things unless you're dead, all right? But I'm going to be thinking about it because, of course, in the situation that if I was dead, it'd be good to get some things off my chest so that everybody knows. So real quick, I just wanted to have a real quick live stream, a little bit of an update, a little bit of a time capsule. All right, because every single day is a damn journey, it seems, as we inch ever closer to oblivion. And maybe that's not even the right word, but a great, great, great reset in which everything is very, very terribly different in such ways that I really can't describe. But in the meantime, we're on a journey every day, something new. Of course, was it yesterday or the day before? Couldn't really tell you off the top. It's either Saturday or Sunday. I believe it was Sunday. I believe it was yesterday. This whole assassination attempt. And as you well seen, I'm not telling you anything. You've seen all the information that's come out. You've seen the man. What's his name? I don't remember his name. It really doesn't matter. That guy who's trying to assassinate Donald Trump over there at Mar-a-Lago, or I think it was at Mar-a-Lago. And all the different information. Of course, I can't say for sure, but just as like a little note, what we know sort of now, or at least what we've heard, assassination attempt. He had some sort of like AK variant rifle with him. And at first, from what I was hearing, it would lead you to believe that there was some sort of insider information tip or something. It would make you wonder, how did he know that Donald Trump was going to be there? Because here's the thing, they were talking about that it was somewhat spontaneous. All right, so my detective mind got to working just like everybody else. And I'm seeing everybody else in real time, and their detective minds are figuring out just the same thing. I used to be a detective all by my lonesome. Me and my folks on the internet, we used to just question everything, and we used to take all the clues and all the hints and all this, and carefully analyze them. But pretty much we were by ourselves doing that. We're out in the real world, and like really nobody else was like asking these same questions we were. Nobody was giving a damn about the kind of things we were giving a damn about. But now in real time, you can see people's brains are turning just as ours is a turning. All right. So I had heard information. I'm thinking to myself, okay, this guy, whatever his name is, I'm sure it says his name somewhere around here, but I don't see it. I don't remember it. This guy, okay, he found himself an opening sitting there in a brush, something like 400 yards away. And he just so happened to know Donald Trump was coming through. Right. So it would lead you to believe that he had insider information. How else would he know to be there at that exact time? But then I was also hearing, and you probably already heard, I don't know what's necessarily true, but according to what they said, this guy had actually been posted up in that very spot. I think they call it like a sniper's nest. All right, and he built himself a little sniper's nest there, and he was there for allegedly 12 hours, if you can imagine. I mean, some people are dedicated for real. All right, so when you're dedicated for real like that, you wouldn't mind, I suppose, hanging out for like 12 hours in a sniper's nest. Now, I assume he had gone to the restroom at least once or twice or something. Makes me wonder, you know. I feel like I don't know who would watch it. I would watch it, but like, of course, you can't really trust people. But imagine if they made like a movie. You can make a whole movie about this guy just sitting there, sitting there and wait for like 12 hours waiting on Donald Trump. It's like, what the hell do you do to pass the time? I mean, perhaps he was zeroed in. Perhaps he was just thinking, I hate Donald. I hate Donald. I hate Donald. How about see Donald? I hate him. And stuff like that. Perhaps he was doing that for quite some time. Or like, who's to say? I certainly don't have no idea. Perhaps he was playing Candy Crush for hours and stuff, just thinking like, oh man, I'm having a sweet old time over here and just like enjoying myself, waiting for Donald Trump. I'm gonna kill him. Can't wait to kill him. Right? And then it might talk about it here a little bit. I'm looking at like some headlines right now. Might talk about it. I've heard it a couple of times, just as part of a capsule, a time capsule, a little time morsel to share for you to today, for in the future when people look back, if they can even find this, if we're not blown into oblivion, somebody comes across this and wonders, well, what the hell happened on today, September the 16th? They were talking about charging this man. He's sitting up and waiting specifically to assassinate Donald Trump. And I don't know if it's just like I misheard or they misspoke or something like that, but they're talking about charging him with like 2 gun charges. How about you charge him for trying to assassinate Donald Trump? All right, because we all know why he was out there. Oh, you're going to charge him with some gun charges and stuff? Oh my God. It's not surprising. It's not surprising. One thing that I noticed when I just came on the internet right now, I guess it's going to go in the time capsule. Might be something worth noting, I guess. Sean, have you heard of Sean P. Diddy Combs? He was in some stuff. I don't know, maybe 2, 3 months ago or something for beating the brakes off of some lady for like kicking himself and doing all sort of weird, wild, weird stuff, having the homosexual orgies and all whatever. I don't know what the hell he does. And they're talking about more than likely he's like the Jeffrey Epstein of the hip hop world. Of course, that means like that nothing's gonna happen or things gonna happen. It's gonna take a long time and Surely we have no idea what the hell is going on. But I'm seeing a headline right now. It says Sean P. Diddy comes arrested. Arrested. Federal custody up in New York. At this point, I could care less. All right. I mean, yeah, I know. I seen him beat the brakes off that lady. It's like, okay, well, she kind of liked it, to be honest with you. I hate to say this, but she did kind of like it. Like, she kind of stuck around for some more beatings, if you might recall. But Diddy taken into federal custody up in New York. All right. I don't know what the it's like TMC has learned that he's up in custody and all sort of people with shields and masks and stuff like that busting into his house. I gotta say, I mean, it is what it is, and I have not one single clue what it is when it comes to P Diddy and this whole endeavor, what he did, what he didn't do. I couldn't care less because y'all couldn't care less. For decades and decades, you let him run wild, and then the thing is, like just when y'all, I guess, got tired of it. Now you're bringing down the hammer on him for some reason. I couldn't care any less, right? But it's just disturbing. Like for one, I'm seeing pictures of the outside of his house, and they're kicking down doors, and they're doing this and that, and it's just deeply disturbing. It's like we're about to go through a great reset, and thank God for that. All right. But before the Great Reset, I just gotta say, as law enforcement, first of all, some of y'all are ladies. Some of y'all are fucking obese ladies. Have no business there to begin with, but however, everybody's DEI and everybody's included, right? I'm looking at pictures of an obese lady there with like a vest on, and she's kicking down doors. I have no idea, but they're also wearing masks. And it just might be semantics, but I feel like if you're on the right side of the law, you have no need to be wearing masks. You're gonna take down a P. Diddy or something like that. I don't know. So, but it's a lot of drama, and I don't know how much of it's worth mentioning, and sticking it to the time capsule for today, September the 16th. I'm looking at a whole bunch of headlines right now. Really, I don't really care about much of it. All right. But some of the biggest things that I'm seeing, for example, and I've been seeing it for a couple of days, is Laura Loomer. Have you seen that? Like everybody's talking about Laura Loomer right now. On and on about Laura Loomer. And I'm seeing all these headlines like, oh, I'm seeing one in particular right now calling her the MAGA vixen. So she's the MAGA vixen. I'll put like headlines which it's very shameless, but they're talking about Donald Trump. Oh, maybe he's got like a sweet little thing on the side for a Laura Loomer. All right, and that's always their perverted ways. That's the thing about it. So they're just doing anything they can to cause a rift, to cause some friction. It's retarded, but they're going for broke. They thought, okay, somehow we will create a love triangle between Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump. It's just going to get them all mixed up, and it's going to get them all flustered, and it's going to be able to what we're going to do to crack it. We're going to crack Donald Trump somehow. We're going to crack him by saying Laura, either that or we're going to drive Laura Loomer far away from the Donald, and then this and that. Or they're trying to create some sort of friction. Doesn't make any sense, by the way. Because, for example, I mean, Laura Loomer, she's decently attractive. I'm not saying that she's not, but is she like anything compared to Melania Trump? No, she's nothing compared to Melania. Not only that, it's like, first of all, y'all are perverts, number one. And it's always about this with y'all because y'all so scandalous, number two. It's kind of hard to compete with Melania Trump, number three. And I'm pretty sure Laura Loomer is married. Y'all disgusting perverts. Always with this stuff. Always with this stuff. And they're even trying to get at Donald Jr. because Donald Jr. is sitting at a table with some lady and they were eating lunch, and that must mean that he's getting his little on the side or whatever. Y'all are some sick, disgusting perverts. All right. And I will mention also that Milo Yiannopoulos, I was unaware, and perhaps this has been a thing for a while. I wouldn't have I subscribed for whatever that means to Milo Yiannopoulos. I guess he's on X. For a while, I've been wondering where the hell is Milo Yiannopoulos, because I know, like, like at least for quite some time, he was all up in the public spotlight. And it did kind of make you think, like, perhaps he enjoyed being in the public spotlight. He almost seemed like a natural to be up in the public spotlight so much. And then he kind of fell off. And I'm not sure it's because some drug addictions, perhaps. I'm not saying he was, but it seemed kind of. And also, he had some sort of like conflict in his mind about being homosexual. All right. And he's like trying not to be homosexual, and all the while like having these homosexual urges and stuff. And that's got to be terrible, man, right? That's got to be terrible. There's a lot of homosexuals out there who are going for it, and they're not like conflicted so much, but it's got to be extra tough for if you are conflicted, and perhaps he's no longer conflicted. I really don't know. I haven't heard from Milo in a long time, but now, seemingly from out of nowhere, Milo Yiannopoulos pops up, and he's like, Laura Loomer is a crazy, crazy bitch, all right, and she's not to be trusted, and this and that, and she can't be trusted with weapons, and this and that. She's crazy, crazy lady. Perhaps I'll get to the bottom of it, but it's just like it seems as though Milo Yiannopoulos is just popping up just to hate on people, and it seems very erratic. What has he been doing lately? I have no idea. I really don't know. All right. But all right, to get up out of here, because there might be some other stuff. Like, for example, did you know that Chipotle, they got a guac bot, Chipotle, restaurant? They got a guac bot, and that guac bot can peel avocados in seconds. Now, I would certainly like a personal thing that could peel my avocados in seconds, right? I stopped buying avocados because I was tired of getting. Have you ever bought avocados and then you get one and it's like there's a black spot on the inside and it smells funny, and your avocado it probably tastes funny. You'd have to cut off the black spot, and then you're gonna want to cutting off half the avocado anyways. And I paid for the whole damn avocado. All right. And I stopped buying avocados for that reason. I'm tired of paying for stuff, and I take it, I get it home and I unwrap it, and it's disgusting. Black spot. All right. And for that reason, I've actually recently been buying frozen avocados, because if you dare give me a black avocado frozen in a bag, I swear I'm gonna show up at the store or the avocado factory, and I would just do something terrible to y'all, man. I just hope that it wouldn't happen. Pretty sure it wouldn't happen. And that's why I buy them frozen. Back when I was buying them, peeling them was kind of hard, right? Peeling them's kind of hard. And so I want to see what it is they got as far as appealing the avocado machine. All right, but I want to get up out of here, start to get ready for to go to bed. In the meantime, I want to say this. I have conversations, short conversations with people throughout the day. And what I'll tell you is, like, anybody who I talk to, a lot of them bring up, for example, the Haitians or these illegals in particular. And nowadays, people just can't. They don't give a damn, dude. Like, illegals, they're illegals. That's what everybody's saying. These damn illegals, man. I swear, everybody be calling them illegals, right? Because that's what they are. But like for example, you know how they said, "Oh, they're not eating cats, they're not eating ducks and geese at the duck pond and stuff like that. They're not doing that. I mean, you liars. They're not doing that." That's what they've been saying. Oh, they're not doing it. Don't believe your lying eyes. Oh, just because you've seen a video, just because you've seen this man on TikTok and whatnot. Don't believe it. Don't you dare believe it. Meanwhile, everybody who I talk to, they know full well that Haitians are eating the shit out of cats and dogs and stuff, putting them on spigots over there in Ohio and everywhere else, man. I mean, just the other day over in Colorado, what was it, Aurora, Colorado? They were taking over apartment buildings, whole apartment buildings. Just this last night, and I heard this evening, and I heard a little bit before that they took over some hotel in El Paso. They're in every single state doing these shenanigans, from what I heard. All right. And so it's like we're in a particular interesting time, which everybody who I talk to, they all know full well that the Democrats are lying their asses off. And I've talked to multiple people, women in particular, who tell me just an hour ago, I had one telling me, I was a Democrat. I've been a Democrat. I've just been a Democrat my whole life, and I didn't never really think about it. I was just all Democrat for my whole life. But these people are fucking lying, and they can't stop lying. And Kamala, just worthless. And I understand that Kamala is like the new Obama. She did a real good job at the debate and everything. That being said, people do not like Kamala, really honestly, when you talk to them, and they certainly don't trust her. And that's where we're at. And so that's just where we're at. All right. Which, like I said before, and I have no reason to change it. Now, I mean, they have such a poor candidate. Whether or not they'll even want to switch it out, probably not. They're just going to get, because what do they have? I mean, maybe a Gavin Newsom, but it's a little bit too late in the game. We're already talking about September. We're in mid September. I think they're going to ride this horse for whatever it's worth. Kamala. Um, and so, what's going to happen right now? Basically, is we saw the quote second attempt on Donald Trump's life. It probably was not the second. It definitely wasn't the second attempt, but it was the second recent one that we kind of heard of. And they're playing like I've mentioned before, in my theory, is they going to stop, because every time they mess up, it just makes Donald Trump more popular, and it makes people who are like scared and terrified just it's like it makes them like him more, because he's not the one out trying to assassinate others. It's like they're trying to assassinate him, and it kind of rubs people the wrong way. Kind of rubs people the wrong way. Now, so like there's been all sort of suggestions. It's kind of like The Price is Right, when you got the contestant up there. Imagine Donald Trump up there, like it would even matter to him, but imagine him up there as like a contestant for The Price is Right, and everybody's yelling at him and yelling at him what he should do. Of course, it's kind of hard to hear everybody all at once, and that's kind of the fun of Price is Right, what he should do. I've heard things like he should be in a bunker and stay there or something, or maybe multiple bunkers, maybe go from one bunker to the next bunker and run in between that. Go to a bunker, be on social media for 10 hours a day. Why? Because people need to hear what you got to say, and they love to hear what you got to say anyways. But be in a bunker because they fitting come get you. I've heard that suggestion, and I really couldn't say, and I wouldn't say that it's like, for example, I wouldn't suggest, of course, that Donald Trump's being irresponsible. I wouldn't suggest that, all right, because Donald Trump has gotten himself to the point in which he is definitely the most well-known figure in America and perhaps the world. All right, he didn't do that on accident. He himself did that, and I give him props for doing that. Can Donald Trump hide himself in a bunker and continue to be there and only talk to people through social media up until the election? I don't know that he could possibly do that. Like, I don't know that he could personally do that without like withering away. I don't know what exactly. It seems as though uh, that's kind of what makes Donald Trump tick, is to be with the people and amongst the people and hearing what they say and stuff like that. And then furthermore, it's interesting is that people trying to take Donald Trump's life. And hypothetically, if there's going to be an election, and I say this very hypothetically, if there was going to be an election, well, of course, Donald Trump would win. Um, but then after he won, the amount of trying to kill him would not decrease. That's the thing about it. It would only increase. And so you can imagine that. I mean, imagine the world that we've gotten ourselves into when uh, high alert, hypothetically, and it's what everybody wants, is for Donald Trump to be the president because we're so damn sick and tired of like just being worked over and worked over and worked over every single day, all day long. All right. But that is the situation that hypothetically, if Donald Trump were to get elected, he would still have to be on high alert for 4 damn years. And for example, I heard Candace Owens, she's a smart lady, dude. She is a very sharp lady. I don't know that Donald Trump will like pay heed to this or if he needs to pay heed to it. But I was hearing Candace Owens earlier talking about that if Donald Trump wants to live, and she seemed very confident. Man, the thing is about Candace Owens is no matter what she talks about, she seems very, very confident in herself. And that's kind of what I like about her. That's one of the things that I like about Candace Owens. But she was like, if Donald Trump wants to survive until November, according to her, he needs to change out JD Vance because, and although she wasn't really like discounting JD Vance real hard, she said that she doesn't really know JD Vance very hard. She just has a very, very bad feeling about him. And according to her, she's actually saying that like Donald Trump, what he needs to do is become assassination proof via his VP pick. It's definitely an interesting notion. And her idea was that to change out JD Vance for a Mr. Thomas Massey, who apparently goes real hard and stuff. And of course, I've heard his name and he's been making the right moves and stuff. He sounds like a good guy. But that should be his VP because he is even more extreme. For example, Candace was pointing out that Donald Trump is not, and we might as well single these people out because there's a lot of people who might want Donald Trump dead, right? But the biggest people who would want him dead are most likely the military industrial complex. Now, the way the military industrial complex works is there has to be endless war and more war and escalation. This is how they get paid. There has to be. Peace is not very profitable for these people. Right. So you got Donald Trump who he would and he does, get up and show his military might, if you will, but he's not like jumping into new wars. He's not giddy about it. He's not trying endlessly and ceaselessly to escalate over there in the Ukraine as some people are, such as this retard who sat in the brush for 12 hours and was waiting for Donald. He was very big on the Ukraine stuff. You can't wait for nuclear war and stuff like that. So Candace's idea was that Donald Trump is pretty anti-war, but that Thomas Massey is extremely anti-war, and at the same time anti-giving money out to all these freaking countries for what reason? To include Israel. All right, so that was like what she was throwing out, and I thought it was very smart and sharp. And I don't know if that's the answer, to be honest with you, because still my theory stands, and I could be wrong, but my theory is they trying to get rid of Donald, right? And that's they're gonna, do what they gotta do to him. Candace's like opinion was that perhaps she doesn't know JD Vance well enough, and perhaps if they delete Donald, perhaps JD would take the torch, somehow go on to win the election, and when he does, subtly sell everybody out and continue this war industrial complex. I see what she means, and I do think she's pretty sharp on her observations, but I don't even think that makes sense. I don't even think that makes sense. They want to delete Donald Trump. Right? They have attempted to do so. Lots of times it gets blamed on the rhetoric. They say, "Oh man, the news and all that, they were like expressing such rhetoric that's so outrageous and over the top that these damn retards be running around losing it because of the rhetoric, and they get all confused in their heads and they start to get passionate about the Ukraine and all this nonsense. All right. And it's their rhetoric that pushes these nutballs over the line and gets them to go buy AK-47s and do all sort of whatnot. That to me, there is some truth in that for sure. Yeah, you did wind up these two fellas. Yeah, you got countless other wind up toys in your reserve and stuff like that. That is true, and they do react off y'all's insane rhetoric. All right, but even more to the point, there's people grooming these people, training them up, manipulating, pretty much guiding them into the brush and telling them, look, you sit here for 12 hours and stuff, man, you're going to be a hero somehow. It doesn't make sense, but you're going to be the hero somehow. This is going to save Ukraine and this is going to stop Putin somehow. All right. Yes, there's the rhetoric. Yes, it is irresponsible. Even with the people who I dislike and these politicians and stuff, which is most politicians, like I don't have the nerve to run around and say, "Oh, he's Hitler. Oh, he's fixing to take away all your rights. He doesn't want civil rights and stuff like that." It's like, "Oh, if you're black, you better go hide because he's fixing to bring out slavery. He's gonna crack that whip on you and stuff." It's like, that's retarded, ain't it? Yeah, it is. And they're like, oh man, he's fixing to take all women's rights away. He's gonna take all the women's rights. He's gonna set us back 1,000 years and stuff. And it's like, okay, which rights? Which rights are you talking about? The rights to kill their babies, and that's it. There is no other rights. Makes me wonder, like some of these women, it's like you really think that your only right in this world is to kill babies? I don't know. But to get up out of here, it's quite interesting, you know, because hypothetically, um, they're trying to kill Donald Trump right now, and then after the election, they're going to even more be trying to kill him. That's if there was an election. I don't think there will be an election simply because of the popularity. See, they got to kill Donald Trump, and each time they try to kill him, he only becomes more popular and their problem gets worse. So they would like to knock him off, and whether or not they got JD in their pocket, I really don't know. I don't know. Who's to say? Of course, they're not going to be like traveling on the same plane together out of precaution and stuff like that. But who's really to say? Now, their plan B, if they can't get him, they're trying real hard to get him. Their plan B or plan A, however you look at it, they're going to escalate the war over there in Russia. And I'm talking about quick, fast. We don't have hardly much time. They're going to escalate the war. It's not going to be an election. And if it wasn't that, it would be something else. They got different various plans in their back pocket. But I'm saying like their favorite one is to escalate the war, even if only just enough. I mean, certainly they do want to eventually get tactical nuclear bombs dropped on America. Why? It's only going to help them in their like conquest for power, at least in their own minds. That is what they want to have happen. How quickly they want to have that happen, I don't really know. But they would want to escalate it at least to the point where they could legitimately say, guys, we don't have time for an election. Maybe next time we'll do an election, right? But one thing I wanted to point out as we get up out of here, let this be the last couple of things that I wanted to point out is that I'm a guy, publicly I might say some things that might make you like, I don't know, people uncomfortable, perhaps. All right. And this has been uncomfortable, either that or it's funny, either that or it's strange or whatever. But recently, when I tell people, and I make sure to tell them, just to kind of spread the word, everybody knows about these assassination attempts, and I say every time that they ain't done yet. They're not done. They don't never plan on stopping. They are only just beginning and attempting to delete Donald Trump off the earth. Right. And the people who I say this to, I almost half expect them to be like, nah, nah. You're like exaggerating. Maybe perhaps you're being a little bit hyperbolic. Maybe you're being a nervous Nelly. Everybody who I say that to, everybody who I tell them, look, dude, they're going for broke. Their most favorite thing in the world right now, Christmas come early, would be to pop Donald Trump in the dome, right? And they've only just begun. They're going to continue, and everybody basically agrees with me, and I find that startling because I'm expecting someone to be like, "Nah, man, you're tripping. This was just a thing, and that was just a thing, but." It's not like a pattern. These are just rogue people who are like tripping balls. And but no, everybody's agreeing with me, which is a new thing for me, and I don't really like it. And then I tell them, it's interesting. I'll go so far as to tell some people. Sometimes I'll slip it in there when it's appropriate. I'll let them know. And the other day, I let like a Democrat know, and I don't even care who I'm talking to. I let them know. I take my words, mark them down. There's not going to be an election. And some of them who are not really up with me, they'll be like, "What are you talking? What do you mean it's not going to be an election?" And I'll tell you, and it's just like I'm telling you right now. There's not going to be an election. Why they're going to escalate the war? Why that's their excuse to not have an election? Guess what? They don't believe in democracy or whatever the hell they call it. It's not going to be one, and this is how. Right? Just so that people know. And I told this one guy the other day, I said, one day, pretty soon, they're gonna call off the election. You're gonna think to yourself, who's the one only person who I heard say that they're gonna call off the election? Like he's a mother effing psychic. This is this guy, Gerard. He's the only one who, yeah, yeah, I was the only one, right? I mean, a lot of people are saying it probably, but few and far between. And also, I'll say this, I want to get up out of here. I find it very interesting, the whole situation. Imagine you're Donald Trump. You know, people are trying to take your life. You know for a fact that there's gonna be people in your inner circle, in your various inner circles, who may very well be giving up information here and there, and who's to say it's going to be hard to know. And let's say you get elected. Let's say you get elected. I don't think it's going to be an election, but let's say you did, because you're definitely going to win it if there was an election. And you got to be equally as paranoid, more paranoid than any president in the history of America. And you're going to have to carry that out for 4 years. And on top of that, you're already, from what I understand, 78 years old. 78 years old. And it kind of blows my mind because I know a lot of people is very unhealthy. I know a lot of people is very unhealthy. And the thing is, they would be very, very lucky. They'd be very, very fortunate, if you will, to make it to about 78 years old. And I gotta imagine Donald Trump has like the best doctors, hopefully ones that he's known forever. I take real good care of them and stuff like that. And of course, like I guess with enough tests and with someone with that amount of money, like money's not an issue. You should more or less be able to know exactly what's his health like. But it's so insane when you think about it. It's like, okay, and I told people this, had Donald Trump got shot in the head the other day, about 50, 60 days ago, we would have been in civil war. I tell them just like that. Nobody disagrees with me. I'm like waiting for someone to say, no, you're tripping. Nobody ever disagrees. You know what they say? Typically, they'll be like, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, please disagree with me. Had he got shot Sunday, we would be in some form of civil war. What does that look like? I don't know. I have no idea. Chaos? We would be in some sort of civil war. And we just so happen to happenstance our way through it that Donald Trump didn't die. They're gonna take more attempts on his life, but he's 78 years old. You understand that, like, if he just died today of natural causes, and that's where we're at. If he were to die today of completely natural causes, nobody would believe it. Nobody would. And so, like, that's why I hope, that they're pretty sure that they're aware of Donald Trump's health, because if he were to just simply die, that would cause major, major problems. He's 78 years old right now. All right, we're walking a little bit of a tightrope right here and stuff. Again of America, and and it's tiresome. All right. Thankfully, in a way, thankfully, I sit here and I dwell upon it from time to time. And about 3 months from now, it's very likely that I'll think to myself, man, I wish I was uh like I wish I could go back to at least 3 months ago when this whatever was not happening. I know that that's the case, but at the same time, so much lawlessness, so much criminality, so much ill will towards fellow human beings that it's also kind of exciting, right? We can't really afford to keep living this way. Something must be done. There must be some sort of catalyst, and whether or not I like it, I believe the catalyst is right here, right now. It's very interesting. I don't want to. I don't want to delete myself, and I'm not planning to. I see how sometimes people do, and I see how sometimes people might want to do that. I'm not doing that. But I have always kind of wondered to myself, you hear stories back in the way back of young men, 15, 16, 17, sometimes sneaking into the military. And it makes you wonder what's the mindset necessarily. Why would they want to do that? Why would they be so eager to do that? That's what I've always wondered to myself, you know, finding it a little bit outlandish, if you will, not being able to relate, wondering what is that like to feel like that and to be like that, to be a 15, 16, 17-year old young man and be eager to go to war. I've never really known that feeling. But I'm knowing that feeling now. It's really starting to dawn on me that feeling now. And I'll have you know, as you already probably well know, no matter where you're at in the world, all sort of different countries, you're having problems, and most of these problems are being instigated upon you via your government. Your government hates your guts, or they can't wait to sell you out. Lots of times through history, when it comes to these wars, it's like, okay, one country is going to fight another country, one region is going to fight another region, one clan is going to fight another clan. But in this particular instance, it's very interesting because there is no other country, there is no other clan. We got a bar fight up in the damn building. Holy jeez! Putting up some comments and I didn't even see him. Thankfully, I looked before we got up out of here. Shout out to Bart Fine, a damn legend. But I was talking about um, the feeling of not giving an F. Don't even give an F. I would gladly go to war right now. I don't wish anybody any ill will. It's not a country to go against. It's not another clan. It's not another region to fight against. The people who are fighting against are those who want to send us to war. And it just doesn't even matter what country you're from. They want to send you to war. They're declaring war on you, and they're declaring war on all of us everywhere we're at. Our fine, before we get up out of here, says the Kennedys are dead. Ah, fuck. What? I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. Open the phone lines, bruh. That's what's kind of interesting because uh, just to mention it, probably one of the and first of all, of course, Bart Fine owns the phone lines. You know what I'm saying? And he already knows that. Everybody already knows that. And I wouldn't mind doing it. And I've seen fellas do it. It seems like the thing to do, and I would enjoy it a lot. The problem is, it's just, and it's the same problem for since forever. Right before I hopped on the internet, I had StreamYard telling me, "Oh, you got to free up space. Oh, you got to free up space because we can't record this and blah. You got too much. You got to free up space, or you got to pay us some money in order to have more space." And I was just like, I don't care that much and stuff. I mean, I kind of care, but you're giving me the hassle and you're giving me the runaround. And you keep talking about I don't have space. All right. And for example, StreamYard right now, it's like I can't even go off the screen. Like if I wanted to click around, start clicking around and looking at stuff for reference, couldn't do that because then everything will freeze up and you won't even like my stream will freeze up. That's why I be keeping like this Chromebook right here just for reference, just in case I need to like know some stuff. And okay. And it's food for thought because really honestly, we do need a phone line. All right. Barfine says, why did you waste money on a haircut? Laugh out loud. I'm not sure exactly if you're making fun of my haircut right now. And I spent a lot of money on it too. What? What are we talking about here? Are we talking about my hair? I don't get it. I cut my hair the other day. Well, I didn't cut my hair, but I actually got a haircut maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And that does cost money. And one might say, "Oh, why'd you do that when you could spend the money on something else?" It's like, I don't know. I actually didn't get a haircut, a legitimate haircut, for well over a freaking year because that's how frugal I am. I was just buzz cutting my hair real short for free. But then I was like, dude, I'm working all these hours and I'm going to work real hard, making America great and all this. And it's like, dude, I can't have like a nice, decent haircut. I'm walking around, I'm seeing all these other people with haircuts where they got the fade and the blending and the style and stuff. And it's just like, I got very jealous. I was like, I want to be like these people. Right? That's why I got the haircut. And yeah, it cost me some damn money. Barfine says I come on here with a razor. See, Barfine gets it nice and close and smooth and everything like that. And that's nice. That's real nice. Shout out to my Uncle Willie. May he rest in peace. He was one of the first and best who did it in my life. For a long, long time, he was bald, and that's what he would do, the razor. And then he'd feel his head, and his head felt kind of like a dolphin, like you were petting a dolphin or something like that. And of course, yeah, the ladies love it and everything. So my situation is that, and I don't know about Barfine's situation. I'm not saying anything about his particular situation, but my situation is that I got a pretty damn decent head of hair, man. And for a while, I was cutting it real short because I thought that perhaps maybe I was going bald due to medication that I was taking. But kind of find out I'm not going bald. I'm not going bald at all, man. It's hair all there. And it's something about having a nice haircut. Of course, you could take it a straight bald, and it's not like it's not going to ruin my life. But however, it's a little bit of an upgrade. Ladies do notice when you got the haircut. I was like, dude, we are on the cusp of the end of America. And I'm not sure how much Barfine agrees with that or what exactly his theory is. Like in Bart Fine's mind, perhaps if I did my research, I'd be able to find out. But in Bart Fine's mind, where are we 3 months from now? Where are we in January? What the hell is going on? All right, perhaps chaos. Maybe he thinks everything's going to be ship shape and fine and dandy. I don't know. I don't think so. But that was my thinking. It's like, dude, we're at the end of America. There is no way we're in a civil war. A lot of people don't want to admit that to themselves. They're like, oh man, a civil war might happen. We're actually already in one. But however, if Donald Trump gets shot in the head, we're going to be really, really, really in one. And I'm thinking to myself, man, with the little bit of money that I make, I can go to the grocery store at this point and buy some stuff I like with a little bit of money that I make, man, I can actually go get a haircut. And I'm thinking to myself, 3 months from now, that might not be even possible. Right. So I decided to myself that was like an important thing to myself. I don't know if I'll be able to get haircuts for much longer. Hopefully, because that's kind of like a human thing. Hopefully, you'll always be able to find a barber, but maybe not. Maybe not. So, anyways, we got sidetracked because I'm sure with some finagling, and Barfine's got me thinking about it because honestly, there's live streaming, and then there's also like recording a video. The current positives to me recording a video are that I can like swoop around my phone and on the internet and show you some things and have articles posted of and read them, and so it's more interactive that way, but it's not live. So if I come on a live stream currently, what the situation is now, you see my dumb face, and I'm just sitting here talking, and you're not seeing anything but my face. And to me, that's boring. I don't even like looking at my face so long. And so it's kind of like mundane and whack in that way. And now, of course, there's people who they're able to get the in-screen action and stuff like that. I'm sure they finagle it with their laptop. My laptop is not even a laptop. It's a damn Chromebook, right? And this Chromebook really can't do very much. And this Chromebook, for whatever it can do, it doesn't do it very fast either. I don't think it can handle it. As far as capacity and capability, I'm pretty sure my phone is more capable than the damn Chromebook. Basically, is where we're at, right? But Bar Fine's got me thinking, and I'm going to think between now and tomorrow. In fact, if I were to get on in whatever way, this is what I want to talk about tomorrow: opening the phone lines, because there's definitely ways to do it. Perhaps, for example, I could create a phone number on the Chromebook, and one could call the Chromebook, and that'd be like a phone, and I'd be holding the phone, and you could hear somebody talking, maybe. Perhaps that's doable. And I'm really gonna have to think about it because there's gonna be like hitches along the way and stuff to figure out and to be tinkering with. But long story short, I think that's a great idea because I don't want to see my dumb face, dude. And sometimes I'll be talking, I'll be like, dude, why am I the only one talking? I want to open up the phone lines. In these last days, I think it's imperative that we open up the phone lines. All right, because I want to hear just how um, terrified you are of the chaos and the calamity and whatever's going on. Firefine says, isn't it cool how YouTube jams your face into a small screen? Said, I used to have my salary to buy mushrooms today. What the F are you talking about, Barfine? Said, I used my salary to buy mushrooms today. What kind of mushrooms? So now we're going off on a tangent. We've been here for damn near an hour. We're going to cut it off at an hour. We're at 57 minutes. What the hell kind of mushrooms you talking about, man? Uh, who's to say? You know, mushrooms are pretty damn there's quite a wide variety. They're very potent, it seems, and they do a lot of different things. I go to any one of these reefer stores and buy like all sort of mushrooms that'll trip me out. People used to buy them on the streets. I don't know if you're talking about eating just regular mushrooms. You got to spend half your damn salary on that. That's messed up. YouTube, I don't know that it jams my face into a small screen. But we got to get the hell up out of here. One of the biggest reasons that my face is so damn close, it's all the way up into the screen. It's like I don't like talking very loud, and I don't have a microphone. And if I come back here and I'm talking and stuff, you might not even hear me too good, or maybe you do hear me good. There's no way for me to know. Anyways, chaos and calamity is coming, all right? Lawlessness is abounding. And I think Barfine knows about that. That's why he's tripping off mushrooms right now. He's just getting prepared, and we're all getting prepared. We might want to get prepared, all right, for a new beginning. That's the thing about it. It's going to be all sort of death and destruction. There's already been a death and destruction all over the place, all right? It's what's new. But after that, something will be created so beautiful. And they call it the Great Reset. They call it the Great Reset. And in a sense, I'm looking forward to it. I might even be dead, but it won't even matter. All right. So later on, I'm going to let you know if I am dead. I'm going to make a video about whether or not I am dead and what it is you should know while I am dead. And a lot of y'all probably be confused as to whether or not I am dead and I could be dead. Right? There is that slight possibility that I actually am dead, keeping you on your toes. All right. Coming after me, it's like they're coming after the Donald. All right. So you never really know. I'll holler at y'all a little bit later, and it's my bedtime, and I appreciate the shit out y'all. All right. I'll holla.